Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Target exclusive Collect-A-Build Starro. Now, of course, in order to complete this Collect-A-Build, I'm not going to call it a figure, because let's face it, it's not, but in order to complete this version of Starro, you had to collect all 4 members of the crime syndicate that the fine folks over at McFarlane Toys gave us in their DC Multiverse line: Ultraman, Superwoman, Owlman, and Power Ring, who I will bring out later for comparison. But before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since this figure has no packaging or accessories to speak of, let's talk about Starro for a little bit, because if I don't, this is going to be a relatively short review. I may even be able to compact it into a short. Probably not, because I like to ramble. But Starro, as far as I know, is an interdimensional, intergalactic being that can take possession over people with little Starrolings, which all the members of the crime syndicate that came with parts to build this character came with one of those. So you can load them up with a bunch of Starro minions and have yourself a party. That said, I don't really know much else about this character other than that. And I do believe, don't quote me on this, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe this is actually a Queen Starro, not a King Starro like we're used to seeing, or a male Starro. So very interesting. And I do believe that this whole story arc is fallout from Death Metal, if I'm not mistaken, but it happens in an alternate reality. I think it's in Earth. I don't want to say Earth 2, but it's not the Earth we're used to with DC Universe. It's another one, because they can't just keep everything in one reality, right? They gotta have multiple upon multiple upon multiple realities, and on top of all that, add a negative multiverse where all the Dark Knight's metal come from. So, take that for what it's worth, but taking a closer look at Little Miss Starro here. Again, I believe it's a Queen Starro. Very well detailed. Could have used some more paint. Of course, you could always use more paint to bring out some of the details on the skin here. If that's what you want to call it. But it has 3 giant eyeballs right in the front there. Would have been cool to get a light up feature of some kind to really make those glow. But on the back, you got this giant gaping maw full of teeth that is very well painted, very well sculpted. Lots of detail in there. Looks really cool. Kind of nightmare fuel, terrifying, very Lovecraftian, this character. Very much H.P. Lovecraft indeed. But as far as quote-unquote articulation is concerned, you're not going to get any out of this piece. It's just PVC with some bendy wire in it, so you get a little bit on the top here. This piece on mine moves quite a bit, so I don't know if the wire in there is just whatever or what, but I can move this around quite a bit. As opposed to this side that doesn't move around hardly at all. That was my wrist cracking, not the figure. But yes, it does have some flex in there. It is just a giant bendy toy. It's got some flex down here as well, and down there, which this side actually flexes a little bit more than the other one. So you're going to get a little bit more flex in certain areas than others, depending on the sculpt. But kind of sucks we don't get a stand for this thing. I mean, I do have this nifty wall here, and I can just set it right there, and it will stand. I mean, it's not standing, but it would have been nice to get a display base of some kind for this character. Maybe Johnny Quick will come with that, because we don't have him to round out the crime syndicate yet, and it would be nice to get him at some point. But at this point in time, we have 4 of the, I want to say there's 5 members. I know at one point Deathstorm was a member of the crime syndicate, so I wouldn't mind getting another Deathstorm, but for the time being, we got the 4 members and the Starro. I think that's a nifty little set. It's Target exclusive, yes, but I think you can still buy most, if not all, these characters on the Target website, the Circle app, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, that should be your lot. You should be able to pick them all up. I don't know about Power Ring, but I think the other three you could still get. Or you could at least find them relatively affordable, unlike that stupid Nightfall Batman, which was, oh right, a Walmart exclusive, or as I like to call it, an unattainable exclusive. I'm still salty about that crap because that's one of my favorite bat suits, but it is what it is. So, you know, hopefully at some point, maybe they'll re-release the Crime Syndicate with different accessories. I know a lot of people wish they came with extra hands or different heads or other things other than the Starros, but I think for the set, as far as the set's concerned, really well done set. A perfect set to make exclusive because not everyone cares about Starro and the Crime Syndicate, unlike Batman Beyond, where literally everyone cares about Batman Beyond, but he did get a single release without the Bath part, so I guess there is that. But the Crime Syndicate, not the most popular characters in DC Comics, I don't believe. Starro, not one of the most popular villains. I think this is the perfect set to make exclusive to anywhere, not just Target, but anywhere. Because if you miss out on it, there's a chance that you either really wanted it or were kind of indifferent towards it. And as far as I'm concerned, I wanted the Crime Syndicate because I didn't have a Crime Syndicate, and I'm a pseudo-completionist when it comes to this multiverse line. I like a lot of what they do, but they do have their flaws, and we're going to talk about one of those in just a moment. But with that being said, let's not turn this into a rant and rave and ramble. Let's move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, and as promised, here is Starro alongside the 4 members of the Crime Syndicate required to complete this collectabuild piece. I refuse to call it a figure because, let's face it, it's not. We have Ultraman, who came with the eyeballs, I believe. Superwoman, who came with the back piece and the upper star part. I don't know what you want to call that. Tentacle, what have you. Owlman, who came with the 2 side pieces, tentacles, star parts. And Power Ring with his jacked arse leg, who came with the bottom 2 tentacles, star parts, whatever you want to call those. And I say that because I found out shortly after I finished the Power Ring review that his right leg is longer than his left because McFarlane Toys' hip joints are crap and they didn't assemble it right. So hopefully Mr. Brian, aka my dad, aka the old man, can fix that, or I'm just going to have to replace it. So thanks a lot, guys. You really screwed me on that one and are really killing my buzz with what was to be a pretty solid addition to the line. But that crap's not going to fly because my Last Night on Earth Batman has the same problem. And you know what he likes to do? If you guess fall on his butt, you are right! And last but certainly not least, we have our 2 regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, Livid Spawn, who's not tearing over everyone today because good old Al Simmons here is not an interdimensional, intergalactic, alien starfish thingy of death. I mean, he isn't. Just look at him. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if giant, cool-looking hunks of PVC are your thing, then this is definitely the collectabuild for you. However, if you're like myself and prefer your collectabuilds to be more of the figure variety and less of the statue variety, then this is an easy pass. Or you could just sell off the Starro and the little Starro-lings on the secondary market and hold on to the Crime Syndicate, or just full-on pass on the wave, because while I understand the logic behind making this character a collectabuild, I fail to see how it is a collectabuild figure, considering you can't really do much with it. That said, for what it's worth, even though it's not 100% my cup of tea, I did not have a Starro for my DC collection, and now I do. And while I would have liked to stand a prop this version of Starro on, you know, when there's not a wall handy, that is, I don't really have any complaints with this character. Again, you can't really call it a figure because it's just a giant hunk of rubber and, well, some bendy wire here and there, but you know what I mean. kind of hard to complain about something that A, I don't have much attachment to, and B, not too familiar with, and C, there's not really any room to have any issues other than maybe more paint, maybe a little bit more flex to allow the bendy wires to work, but I'm kind of just okay with this thing sitting there looking ominous and cool, you know? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. And stay tuned. Got plenty coming your way after the Thanksgiving holiday. I'll be back next Monday with more reviews and possibly even some what's in the box stuff this weekend, but don't hold me to that, alright? That said, I hope you all have a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys back here next week. Same Overlord time, same Overlord channel. But if you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. As always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when I know there's some people out there who are totally going to crap on this thing because it's not really a figure, but the less movable parts, the better, because it's less stuff for them to screw up, you know? Kind of like Power Ring. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.